Hey, welcome back to the Fit to Survive channel. So what we have here is what I call a Spydernox Mega Beast. And so this is a 58mm Swiss Army knife. So you can see this is full of tools, a bunch of modifications, a bunch of tools that have been swapped from other complete like brands and stuff. So we'll get into this here just in a bit. So this is 1 inch wide. You can see here it's a pretty big for a 58mm. One of the interesting things about this, I'll kind of point out here at the start, is even though this is like per se really thick, you can still use it. I mean, since all the tools are so slim, I mean, if I wanted to use this as a flathead screwdriver, this would not hinder me using this at all. I could use this, and so even though this is huge, it is still very usable. So one of the cool things about this compared to like say a 91mm, when you get this many tools into a 91mm, you know, it's huge like the XAVT, and you can't even use it. Whereas this, I mean, if you wanted a pocket knife, you pull it open, you could use that, and the rest of the size of this, I mean, it's not getting in your way. So that's one of the cool things about it. All right, so for the scales, these are the Precious A-locks. They're original from Victorinox. So you can see these are pinned shut externally. And so I'll go ahead and I'll start from this side, go through. So first of all is the Spyderco Honeybee blade, which I'm sure you guys have seen this if you've been on my channel much at all. And so kind of the common thing, this is where it gets the name Spydernox. All right, then the Phillips combo tool, and this tool has not been modified. Next is a chisel. Now this is actually the Victorinox cuticle pusher. You'll see here at the end, I have sharpened this up to make this into the chisel. Then the next is a saw. So this was the ruler. You see I've modified this to be a saw. And yes, that is sharp. It will cut wood. Or the next one's an interesting thing. I showed this on some of the previous builds that I've made similar to this. I called that one just Victorinox Beast. It did not have a Spyderco blade. It had quite a few less tools. So anyways, this is a tweezer holder. And so since these A-lock scales do not have slots for the accessories, I've included this, and that holds the tweezers. Now another interesting thing is you can actually fit the pick down below it if you wanted. And so it fits down below, and that will not fall out, so I'll hold in there. Or if you didn't want it, you could just remove that. All right, so moving along. Next up is the orange peeler. Now, this is from the 74mm Victorinox Executive. And so, an interesting little tool. It's got a hook blade here in the back, or I should say in the front. And this on the front is kind of serrated. Again, like I said, they call it an orange peeler. On the front's also got like a flathead screwdriver. Then next to that is the standard file. And you see here on the tip, I have slightly modified that so that you can fit under your fingernail and clean it a little better. It's kind of like a nail cleaner mod on that. And the next one is the plane. I'm sorry, not the plane. This is the nail file with the flathead screwdriver. So maybe slightly redundant because as you saw here, we already have the nail file. But since this has the hook, the nail cleaning hook on the front, went ahead and added this one also since it has the flathead screwdriver on it. All right, then we have the divot repair tool. Now, this is from the Victorinox Caddy. And so a small little tool. One of the tools actually I use quite often, actually. During disassembly, when I take apart Swiss Army knives, it comes in handy for prying in between the layers. All right, the next up is a 91mm chisel. And so this is a back tool for the 91mm Swiss Army knife. So we put this in here. And the last tool for this side. This is the original Victorinox 58mm blade. And you can see I have reshaped this into a tanto shape. All right, and then on this side, we have the Havalon, I'm sorry, not the Havalon. This is the Nightcore scalpel holder. This is the Nightcore NTK05. So it takes a small little scalpel. I think it's a number 11 if I remember correctly. So the cool thing about this is you can remove that. And then you have, basically, you can just swap it out whenever you need to sharpen up, when you need the scalpel to be sharper. All right, after that is the multi-purpose hook, also known as a parcel hook. This is also from a 91mm Swiss Army knife. And so kind of a cool little tool here to add. Again, it's a back tool that goes behind the scissors on these 91mm Swiss Army knife. All right, then next up is the emergency blade, or also known as the flat blade. And something kind of to point out, because I've had people comment about me touching the sharp side of the knife. One of the reasons why I do it is just so you guys can see that the tool opens easily and snaps open. Whereas if I pinch it, you can't really, you won't get to hear the snap and see the actual action of the tools. But don't worry, I will not be cutting myself. All right, next up is also an interesting tool. This was made from a ruler. You see the tip has been slightly cut, slightly modified there. And this is actually a tick removing tool. And so you get up underneath the tick and you can move it that way, especially those people who do not like touching ticks. Right, you see, this is also the original blade, and this has been serrated all the way from the bottom to the tip. All right, next up is also the combination tool, but with the flathead screwdriver. And also right here is the wire stripper mod. And so that works a lot better than it does on the original. Let me get that open so you can see. All right, so the original one is just kind of round and doesn't really work for wire stripping. And so we did a mod on this one, the wire stripper mod, that we can fit it onto a wire. And actually nice and sharp, if you can see right there, but it starts to cut skin. All right, then next to that, we have the plain ruler. It has not been modified. So again, maybe a bit redundant, but at the same time, you don't want to not have a complete ruler. All right, then the hook blade. This has not been modified. And next to that is the original Spydernox blade. Also, you can see it has a tanto shape to it, and it is partially serrated. So lots of blades in this build. I guess to a certain degree, it's almost like a presentation of just the different options out there, the different tools and mods that I can do. Now, this is not the largest I have done yet. I have done one larger. I called it the Titan, but it had basically the USB drive in there and some other stuff. But I do have plans for an even larger one, and so that'll definitely be an interesting project. All right, this is from a Winger. This is from the pocket tool chest, and this is the awl. And then this is also from the pocket tool chest and the Winger, and it is the small flathead screwdriver. All right, so that is everything for this Spydernox Mega Beast. So let me know what you think about this, about having a tool of this size. If you think it's too large, or if you like the size of it, like having all the different tools. And let me know what you guys think about it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.